Okay, I have to say, after everything this fan base has been through in the last week, I expected some kind of emotional exhale after the Oviedo win. Instead, the comments section has fully descended into conspiracy territory, and honestly, I'm here for it.
Conspiracy territory is underselling it, Maria. One fan, and this got nearly 150 upvotes, so this is not a lone wolf, wrote, and I'm translating this directly. I'm starting to think the Frenchman is a Trojan horse sent by Al-Khalifi and Macron to destroy Madrid from the inside. Tio.
I mean, the fact that that comment got 150 upvotes tells you everything about where the fan base's head is at right now. They beat Oviedo 2-0 last night, Bellingham scored, Mbappé got an assist, and fans are out here constructing international espionage plots.
And look, I'm not going to sit here and say the Macron-PSG conspiracy is sound geopolitical analysis, but I understand the emotional place it's coming from. This is a fan base that watched their season collapse, and they need someone to blame beyond just the squad wasn't good enough.
Right, and Mbappé has become the vessel for all of that frustration. We've talked about the Risitas nickname, we've talked about the fraud debate, now we're in full Trojan horse era. The character arc of Kylian Mbappé in this fanbase is genuinely extraordinary.
And then, Madre Mia, someone else posted what they're calling an exclusive, that Barcelona offered 100 million euros for Mbappé so that he would then renew with Real Madrid for 5 more years. I don't even know how to pass that logically, but the comments were eating it up.
That's the other running joke right now, the media exclusives. Several fans are absolutely roasting the sports journalists, with comments like, exclusive from Jose Luis, the sun burns. The level of sarcasm aimed at the press is off the charts.
It's beautiful, honestly. The whole exclusive thing has become a meme. One fan pointed out that the big exclusive of the day was just something Arbeloa said at the press conference. Something he said in front of every camera in Madrid. That's the scoop. Que barbaridad.
And then, there's another fan who called Mbappé Kiki the Dictator, created by Uncle Florin, which, I have to say, is a phrase I did not have on my bingo card for this week. Poor Arbeloa apparently just gets dragged into everything.
Arbeloa is fascinating right now because the tone around him has genuinely shifted. After all the Arbeloa out fury post-Clásico, and then he benches Mbappé against Oviedo and Bellingham comes on and scores, suddenly fans are calling him a dictator, but almost affectionately, like he's their dictator.
There's definitely a faction that's warmed to him. One comment said, and I'm translating, Arbeloa started well at Real Madrid, he dropped Mbappé, the team won, Valverde looked like a centre-forward, Vini played better. So in this fan's mind, the early Arbeloa days, before everything fell apart, are being romanticized.
Which is wild because we were just covering Arbeloa out signs 4 days ago. The emotional whiplash in this fanbase is something else. One win against Oviedo and suddenly there's nostalgia for the good old days of 2 weeks ago.
Look, I think what's happening is that fans are separating Arbeloa, the person, who they might not fully trust, from the specific decision to bench Mbappé, which a large chunk of the fanbase agrees with. They can like one decision while still being unsure about the manager overall.
Fair point. And speaking of Mbappé, the renewal debate is actually getting some traction. Beyond the conspiracy theories, there are fans asking seriously whether he stays, whether he goes, what the club actually wants. One fan wrote, Mbappé renewal, 7 more years, the great Kiki, the dictator. And I genuinely cannot tell if that's sarcastic or not.
That's the beauty of the current Mbappé discourse. The irony layers are so thick you can't always find the bottom. But vamos, the renewal question is real. The club just called presidential elections. There are going to be structural decisions to make, and Mbappé's future is right at the center of all of it.
The presidential election call. That's the other thing fans are buzzing about. Real Madrid has officially called elections for president and board of directors. And the comments are interesting. One fan wrote about Uncle Florin creating Kiki the dictator, which suggests some fans see this election as a chance for real change.
We covered the Florentino backlash extensively earlier this week. The emergency press conference, the fan base divided on whether he helped or hurt things. Now that elections are actually called, that debate gets very concrete very quickly. Who runs? What do they promise? And does anyone actually challenge him?
Because historically, these elections are more ceremonial than competitive, but the post-Clásico anger is real, and a few fans are genuinely asking, for the first time in a while, whether the Florentino era should end. That's a conversation that wasn't happening 6 months ago.
Now let's talk Vinicius for a second, because there's a really interesting undercurrent in the comments around him. With all the Mbappé noise, one fan made the point, and quite forcefully, that Vinny has been the one delivering in the big moments, citing the Espanyol double, and feeling like that's being overlooked.
Yes, one fan wrote, translating, "This team is a disaster and Mbappé is not the best. Vini has proven himself by a lot, but people forget the double with Benzema. People forget how the club felt about Hazard at first." There's a real respect the man who earned it sentiment building.
And then there's another fan who was absolutely furious at someone called Balboa, I think they mean a pundit, for having infinite envy towards Vinicius and Madrid. The anti-media, anti-pundit energy is very much alive and directing itself at anyone perceived to be underrating Vinny.
It's interesting because Vinicius didn't even start last night against Oviedo. And fans aren't panicking about that, they're just relieved the team won and grateful for what he's given them this season. That's actually a healthy relationship between a fan base and a star player compared to what's happening with Mbappé.
The contrast is stark. Vinny rests, fans say, fine, he's earned it. Mbappé comes on as a sub and assists a goal, and fans are still debating whether he's a PSG spy. Different planets.
Right, and with Sevilla coming up on Sunday, the question is what version of this squad shows up. Fans are cautiously optimistic after the Oviedo result, but nobody's getting carried away. There are still plenty of comments about hard years coming for Madrid, and a sense that finishing the season with dignity is the goal now.
One fan put it pretty directly, translating, "Let's focus on the positives. This continues forward. We haven't been playing well for a while, but without the whole anti-Madrid system, these last 2 league titles might not have happened." There's still pride there, even through the pain.
That's the thing about this fan base. They hit rock bottom after the Clásico. They spiral into conspiracy theories and memes and Gargamel jokes, and then they come right back to Hala Madrid. We keep going. It's actually kind of beautiful, Tio.
It is. And tomorrow morning we'll be back with 2 days to go until Sevilla. The presidential election story will have developed. The Mbappé renewal rumors will probably have mutated into something even wilder. And we'll have all of it for you. Don't go anywhere.
The conspiracy theories will be fully developed by then. Macron, Al-Khelaifi, Uncle Florin, all of it. Hala Madrid, and we'll see you tomorrow.